Now, Cal said the real problem is that too many people continue to put too much faith in government to solve the nation's problems. This would include some conservatives. So the American people put too much faith in government to solve the nation's problems. That once again is an act of laziness. Okay, a lot of I read this book, Behold a Pale Horse, and by William Cooper, and the guy gives some pretty accurate and precise information about behind the scenes with government and about the study of the American people, about the economy. And the way he broke it down and explained it, it really gave me thorough education of how it all works. But okay, like let me give an example that somewhere William Cooper said in what is it? Silent Weapons. No, yeah, Silent Weapons, Quiet Wars. Okay, the first chapter. Now, if we all had the education, we all had the proper education like we needed, we all graduated from Harvard or summa cum laude or valedictorian, we all was dedicated and committed people, and we all believed in working hard and doing well for ourselves, we would not need politicians, we would not need government, because the word would be called autonomy. Autonomy means self-government. Were we able to govern ourselves? Were we able to come together as a people and come together in unity to resolve our own problems? It's not one over the other. Where we all consider ourselves equal amongst each other and come together to solve solutions. But if everybody don't want to do right, then of course it's going to be diversity. But if everybody is for the right thing and doing the right thing, then there would be no need for no government. There would be no need for no voting. It would be everybody on the same page, on the same scale. But because people want to do what they want to do and say, hey, leave it up to the mayor to fix the city problems. Leave it up to the senators to come up with resolutions for the country. Leave it up to the president. I want to go on vacation and have fun. I want to go to, the islands and chill out. I want to ride out with my friends, go to the club, or go to the bar. Whatever it is that you enjoy to do. See, the American people too busy focused on having fun instead of being responsible. It's too busy go out party, spend, and just as well as work in order to party. Because work so you can have the funds to party, work so you can have the funds to ride in an unnecessary 2011 Camaro or 2010 Camaro, to ride or to have an unnecessary $300,000 house, to enjoy it, to get all these unnecessary things for what? For display, to make yourself look good, just to say you got it. Whereas some people feel okay with a 3-bedroom house, while others feel that they gotta have a 6-bedroom house, and they gotta have a $30,000 car that's got a convertible top, for image. Is it something they really want as far as to make them happy, or is it something that they trying to get to display before others to make themselves look good? So that's one thing I just wanted to point out. With the real problem, too many people put their faith in government. Put their faith in the government means let them deal with it all so I can go have fun and do what I want to do. Going on, Bob says, I couldn't agree more. We must all face the deficit now. And I mean every citizen. Instead of complaining, every American ought to consider what he or she is willing to sacrifice, there's that word again, in federal benefits and programs. And then vote that way. Engage your government. Contact your representative. Provide political cover for tough decisions on spending and, yes, taxes. The whining needs to stop and the action needs to begin. Now, I slightly disagree with Bob right here because he said contact your representative for what? Like they really hear us what we gotta say. They act as if they hear us, but somebody can call and they can give a thorough explanation or a thorough solution on how to fix and solve problems in the deficit, and then we'll get on it right away. We got you, and then yeah, do what they do as they please. So that's why I disagree with Bob at right there. Now, the other thing he said was it was something else I wanted to cover in this little section. Oh yeah, where he or she is willing to sacrifice in federal benefits and programs. Like I said, cut the war. The war is what's causing the biggest deficit. Like I said earlier, if they cut the war, you really cut a huge part of the deficit. But the country dying, they need the oil, so they're not gonna do that. So instead of cutting the war, we gotta cut some things with the American people, cause cutting the war is out of the question. Cutting the programs is in the question. So yeah, that's where to disagree with. Cut the war. Last but not least, this is I circled Cal and Bob, the last part of this little discussion here. It says, no, Bob, spending must come down, and as you say, the public needs to get serious about it. If they do, the politicians will follow. This coming from Cal. Bob has the last word. He says, well, the late economics Herb Stein said it best. If something cannot go on forever, it will stop. Our debt trajectory cannot continue on this path. Either we correct it, or the spending will stop in a catastrophic way, and if it comes to this, our politicians and American people will bear the burden and, yes, the blame. In this article, America's national debt is your fault, and this is in U.S. Today, but this is from Thursday. U.S. Today. Yes, it's your fault. Yes, it is. Or our fault. Because I'm inclusive in being a part of the American people. So, our fault as a whole. Spin, spin, spin. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. But the biggest, like I said, cause of the deficit, let's not forget, is the war. Because wars are expensive, because them military airplanes or military jets and tanks and all that cost a lot of money to repair and to build. So yeah, and also the healthcare is affected by the war as well, because you got a lot of INs and medical supplies going overseas to help nourish the troops back to health. But explaining about the jobs real quick and a wrap up toward the end of this is by the jobs coming back from overseas, because overseas fell in Japan going underwater, the earthquake that rattled China not too long ago. Jobs come back over here, but only temporary jobs are available. And I already explained it already, but I want to read something and show you something. Okay, yeah, here we go. Got some old newspaper articles here, but this is about scripture prophecy when Jesus spoke. I got one of them in my hand. I want to find both of them, but let me read the scripture right quick, and then I want to show you some, point out and teach you more about prophecy, the real deal here. Okay, here we go. I found the other thing. All right. Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitudes. The two I have marked is, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. The meek being humble, but blessed are those who mourn. Basically, all of the Beatitudes is referring to the people who are considered at the bottom. But it said, blessed are the meek. And I remember looking at the meek. Meek means humble. Meek, meek, meek. Okay. Yeah. Meek. Not having or showing any feelings of superiority, self-assertiveness, or showiness. See humble. And it's saying that's the synonym for it is humble. Meek shall inherit the earth. The meek. The ones who mourn. The ones who poor in spirit. That's the first one. He said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, because the jobs coming from back from overseas, because Japan going underwater, and they definitely don't want their business going underwater. China still suffering. This economy hurting from the earthquakes. They still got a lot of damage over there from that. So they come back over to America to feel the only choice we have is to try to make the best of what we can of our companies in this country with a dying economy. So the meek shall inherit the earth. So indeed the meek is inheriting the earth, because those high prices of things where people can't hardly afford anymore. Special 60% off. Special $49.99. What's that say? Let me try to zoom in on that. Get a good angle. 3-day specials. $20 rebates, you know, where they giving money back on a lot of stuff. Specials. A lot of stuff on sale. Sale, sale, sale. This is at Macy's here. They got a lot of sales going on, even a coupon. So not only they're giving you specials and discounts, they even give you a coupon to knock off even more. Wow. Yeah, I know I said more funny. Okay, look. Cars getting cheaper and cheaper. As I noticed, cars are a lot more affordable now. Cheap prices for nice cars with low miles on it. That's because, you know, the bailouts with the bailouts where the car companies start to fail and crash because they keep bringing out new series. You bringing out 04s. People can't afford the 04s, and the 05s come out. People can't afford the 05s, the 06, the 07, the 08s. All these different models coming out that people can't afford because you got them at $20,000 and $30,000. Real high prices. So in order to make room for the newer model vehicles, you have to bring the older model vehicles down. So the meek shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. So you mourning because you can't afford a new car, but now you can afford it now. For the people that was mourning because they can't afford the clothes that they always wanted to wear, you can afford it now. The people that was mourning because they couldn't afford the home that they always wanted, you can afford it now, because they lowering interest rates. They lowering everything in order to survive, to stay afloat. So where Jesus say, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they should inherit the earth. See, the meek will be the humble, and the majority of those who are humble will be the majority of those who are poor or in poverty or considered the middle class. They inherited an earth which is hurting the rich, so the rich can't be rich anymore. In order, we can't get them top prices, we can't get top dollar anymore, because what we was getting top dollar at, God didn't attacked over there. He done attacked overseas with Japan and China where we was getting top dollar. So the only choice we got left is to go back to America to lower our prices, which we really don't want to do because we was enjoying getting top dollar in order to stay afloat and survive. Thank you. Thank you. Peace be unto you. Christ for life.